Hey, so super stoked today. We're releasing a new episode and this is gonna be how to jump high. So we cherry picked 5 kiters and their 5 jumps, something that we can all learn from. And that doesn't mean that those kiters jump like this every time, but it's a really good education opportunity. And so we picked them, we're gonna analyze it. Homies will analyze the jumps. Matt is a local king of the air. He hit 21 meters on Woo. Will jump 19.5, Lauren 18 or something like that. So they know what they're talking about, guys. I know we all care about Woo. And the guys that do the analysis, they can jump high. Here's the proof.
Takeoffs. So we're going to look at some takeoffs on the screen here, and we're all going to analyze. We got me, we got Ben, we got Will, we got Matt, we got Wojtek. All of the Kitehomiez are here. So let's see what's going on.
Let's get into the video.
Ewan, when he's digging into the board, right? Like you can see, his front leg is straight, right? And like he is pushing out tons of water.
Look at how far back his body position is.
Right.
Yeah. All the load coming off.
He's loaded that kite.
The water, right?
Yeah.
And that's like the perfect takeoff I think you can get, right? Because like you leveraged all of your body weight. Your butt is as close to the water as possible.
And let's just be clear, you can get this takeoff without that little hop. That's an advanced.
That's a wake style.
It's a wake. It's an advanced takeoff that you don't need to do. You can still load like that.
But that's where you want to be. You want to be like at that point where your butt is almost touching the water, front leg is straight, and left leg is bent.
Look at his butt. It's right on the water. Right, it's just touching, right?
Exactly. Like that is the ideal takeoff. You basically harvested everything out of the kite that you can at that point.
And where is the kite position when he takes off?
It's before 12.
It's before 12.
But it's aiming
Yeah, but
behind.
it's
It's
aiming behind.
12. And like watch him when he takes off, like you can see he pulls in the bar like about a split second after it leaves the water. And like also another thing that we have to think about is like the way his board is hitting the water is like almost perpendicular. Like,
That's
so
over
much
45
water.
degrees, right? That is like
No,
close to 90.
that's almost 90 degrees, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
Loop lay back on.
Yeah.
Back loop.
But he's able to do that because his kite's at 12 when he takes off. It's not behind. I think he has so much tension built up in those lines.
Sweet.
That's
the
the
point
key.
is he's doing a continuous send, right? Like the thing is like when we're looking at these pictures of Ewan, like this is not big wind conditions. These are like 25 knots, so like he's going as fast as he possibly can, and he's sending the kite back, and he's continuously sending it back on his loop because that's the conditions that are out there. He's not delaying it; he's just going for it.
So he doesn't stop and look, he just...
Exactly. He's just
Yeah.
looping.
I've noticed that with the pivots. If I take off and I drop the load too much, then the kite will stall.
Right, whereas you guys, when you're like, when you go for it in like the lighter winds, you guys come in
Have to
full speed, you fucking
keep
send
the
it right
tension.
away, keep the tension,
Keep the
and it's
tension.
fine, right?
If you lose tension in the light wind, destination fuck.
Víte má tohle, jak to udělat, no a to jsou za ty.
Again, same thing,
Similar.
his butt is almost touching the water.
Yeah. His board went totally perpendicular to the wind on the
Yeah.
takeoff. His
Because he was doing a kite loop.
right. Yeah.
Maximizing your upwind takeoff.
Upwind takeoff.
To keep
Right.
tension
So
in your
we're-
lines for the loop.
So he edged a little harder.
Long
So
way.
the wind, let's just be clear, the wind is going directly at the Squamish chief.
Yeah.
And look at his board, it's almost pointing directly upwind when he leaves the water, right?
Yeah.
Keeping as much tension on those lines as you possibly can without losing your edge.
Yeah.
Let's look at a female kite.
So
Okay, butt is low, the board
here,
is
butt is low.
butt is
Real
touching the
good.
fucking water.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Perfect,
The leg is straight. The
Leg
board
is straight.
edging. Yeah.
Amazing.
so,
Boom.
Nice.
Great job.
nice,
Like, right?
perfect.
You have all the ingredients.
The landing? It's questionable landing. This video is not about the landing.
That's a great takeoff.
That's a great takeoff.
Upwind jump, lots of tension.
Nice time. Look
You
at how
just see,
stable.
like-
She's
look.
really stable in the air too, because the takeoff allowed her to be
Exactly.
stable. So she got a nice
The
grab.
only thing you need,
That takeoff
Just keep
allowed the
going.
grab to
but
be
really nice takeoff.
perfect.
She was probably too
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah. See the speed? Oh, lost a bit of speed on the takeoff there.
Yeah, could have definitely edged more on that takeoff.
It's a lighter wind.
Not enough speed. Not
Travel,
enough speed.
see, her travel is quite a bit further forward instead of straight up. So I think she lost a little bit of power.
Maybe she'd the bar out enough to get the kite over to 12 or something.
Look at her hands. The bar is where is it at? About halfway there.
You're right.
Takeoff.
Yeah.
So she's letting the bar out. I think you lost power on the takeoff because you're letting the bar
There's
out
probably
too much.
maybe a bit of a wall or something like that. Yeah.
It's gotta be the wind.
Well,
You gotta hold the
I think.
Could be a
hold the
fall.
bar. I think you have to hold the bar as much as you can.
Well,
Hard to say. Could have been a lull. Could have
I
slowed
feel like there may
down.
have been a wall.
Right, yeah, or like you guys said, slowing down if the bar's out too much too early.
Could be low.
Yeah.
Keep enough tension to
The
keep
bar
speed.
looked out maybe a bit too far out.
Alright, let's look at a bad takeoff.
Let's keep going.
It's like off the
So
board.
he's got
Good position.
decent board position. He's got decent kite position, but
He's not leaning into that at all.
look at his body position right there.
Yeah, it's
He's
very
completely
high.
upright. And then when he
Now he
goes,
gets low.
he goes to send into the kite.
But he just absorbed all that impact with his legs.
Yeah.
This is actually really interesting. So, what he did wrong there? You see his kite? If you look at it, the kite's way too far back in the window. So, like when he tries to go and pull the kite, it's just gonna pull him off.
That's a kite position issue.
I think he also suffers from like rubbery leg syndrome, which is like the legs are kind of taking all that power away.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
He's like pushing himself.
He's
up,
absorbing
like,
all the
instead
impact
of
with
letting
his
the
knees
kite-
instead of like sending that into the upward.
Because he compared to
timing.
you and his front leg is bent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think that the biggest mistake here was how he didn't work on holding his edge as long as possible,
Yeah.
but rather like tried to push himself up, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
it's all about the
Everybody does
tension.
that. Like
Yeah.
the worst situation of that is where the person does like this little hop.
This is a board issue.
So like, look at his board.
Look at the board, yeah. It's like
That
flat.
position is not upwind, it's downwind.
Yeah.
Also, look at the angle of the board. Go back a little bit. The angle of that board is actually okay. That's
Yeah.
fine.
But
Here
he's
it's
not.
fine.
He's
That's
he's
fine.
doing it
It's
all.
fine. Where does it go away? Right there. When he's taking off, all of
Do
a
you
sudden
see the
there's
difference
no
between
carve.
that and
No
like a
carve.
proper like upwind takeoff? Is like that is basically just him doing like little hop.
But look, he also puts the bar quite early to help himself. Which
Of course he does,
Yeah.
because but the thing is he doesn't
And
know.
to be honest, I think most of us could jump that high from a flat board position off the water.
Yeah.
We could just pull in the bar and just hop right off the water, and we wouldn't even have to
We
carve
could jump
upwind, and we could
3
jump that
feet.
high. Look at
Boom.
the kite
Oh,
blowing
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
He's literally not using the edge at all. It's all about the
No
kite.
edge.
Yeah.
There's no edge.
Yeah, he's using the kite to pull him off the water.
Look at
That's
that
why the
spray.
kite's waffling.
Look at that
like
spray, guys.
Well, that's why the kite waffles, because he's putting
Right.
the load of the kite to pull him off
Exactly.
There's no spray.
Where's the spray?
Yeah.
No spray.
No spray.
So he's not edging
The
upwind.
spray
He's not
is the
edging, yeah.
indication that you are
You're
pushing
warping.
a lot of
Energy. And let's be clear, to jump high, you need to
Very
translate
good.
all of that energy
Yeah.
from the kite into, absorb it with the board and send it as directly vertical as you can. And that's how a good jump and how you're stable in the air.
right?
And let's look at his stability after he takes off. Well, I think
He's not bad.
It's
It's not
okay.
bad. But I mean, the
But-
point is, he's leaving like literally 90% of the
he
energy
left all the energy
on the table.
Yeah.
He's not using his speed, and he's not using his edge to get him high.
He
He's
just
using
turned
his
himself
kite,
more upwind towards
Mhm.
us.
Right?
Well,
He
that
should-
would be number one tip for this jump.
He should turn
Turn
himself towards
upwind.
us. Towards
Yeah,
us.
towards
the
us.
camera,
He
yeah.
should go slower. He should be more aggressive with his kite position, and then
And
he
hold
would
his
go
edge better.
literally 3 times as high.